looking forward to getting into the new album, and kind of probing into your world of music. So thank you so much for taking a minute out today.
Oh gosh, no, thanks for having me.
You bet. So before we get into slow motions, 6 years ago, this pandemic was changing the landscape for all of us, especially musicians. How did you get through that era, and how has it changed the way that you create music and do things today?
Oh wow. Um, yeah, that was I mean, like everybody else, that was a pretty rough one. Like we
Yeah.
lost a few people right in the beginning of it, family members. So it was kind of like we are a little scared. And I have two little boys, so they were also kind of scared, like at most families.
Yeah.
And so yeah, kind of in a way, once it started to calm down, it started to actually be musically very productive for me because I do a lot of sideman work mostly, so it gave me the time to like actually just focus on what I wanted to do. So I dove into transcribing stuff that I never had the time to do, and composing new things, and throughout that, this solo guitar thing kind of evolved, which I wasn't, I had never done any of that before. So I mean, other than background jazz gigs, I mean, I never like actually gone full into it like that. So yeah, it's definitely kind of given me a more inward, if I could even get any more inward,
Yeah,
more
absolutely. Yeah,
introspective, I guess.
for sure. So
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit about slow motions. What was kind of the overarching approach concept to go into this album?
Oh, um, yeah. So I guess so. What had happened is I got I was contacted by actually somebody I really admire, this solo guitarist Peter Mazza, because I'd posted a few things online, just me improvising solo arrangements, and because I've never actually arranged things like for solo good, I would just play improvise stuff on the spot, like standards and whatnot. And so he had invited me to this. He has like this weekly meeting that he does with guitarists from with other professional guitarists like all over, that would just get together once a week and play arrangements for each other, and like critique, and I mean it's a very positive environment. And so that was great. He was a real big part of like saying, "Hey man, you should do this." I was like, "No, I'm not a solo guitar."
Yeah.
And so through that, it forced me to arrange. So like right before the first meeting, I put together that arrangement of "There Will Never Be Another You," and brought that in. And it was funny because all this stuff was sort of in there because I spent a lot of time transcribing string quartet stuff. So I'm like really interested in that and how things move harmonically, not like jazz with like chords moving like this. It's more of a everything's interwoven.
Yeah.
So I found that very appealing, and that's kind of what came out on this one.
So talk to me. What are you hoping the listener gets from this album?
Oh, well, I hope that they, can see because it's a kind of a personal thing. It's, it kind of, at least for me, listening to solo artists, like I really like to, because it's they get into a personal space that's not like um, fed other information from the band, although that's also one of my favorites. But like just in the solo setting, I find it to be a deeply like uh, almost like I mean naked place. You know what I mean? Not in the literal sense,
Yeah.
but
Right.
but you know what I mean. And it's so it's
Yeah.
it's like a real honest thing that you can't hide behind some of your things. Like, we all have like, if we're on a gig, maybe we might play something that's not honest, like just to sort of, oh God, an ego thing, like, oh, I gotta sound better. I gotta whip this thing out. And if you do that solo, it just sounds, well, it usually sounds dumb anyway, but like, especially in a solo arrangement, it's
Yeah.
not, it doesn't fly.
Yeah.
So hopefully they see that, and then also there's a lot of other things. I mean, depending on how much they like, how deep of a listener they are, like there's all this. I love to listen to the interaction between lines with, especially artists like Ted Green, Ben Monder. These kinds of guitar players that just do, and Peter Mazza, where they're interacting with each other almost like you would hear a string quartet. Interact if they were improvising. Because you could do that on the guitar. So why not?
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time working and studying on the counterpoint like that. So,
Yeah. So how did this journey into the music begin for you? Take me back to where you were born and raised. How did music and jazz become your career?
oh, a series of bad decisions. I'm just kidding. um, yeah, I don't know. So basically, when I started playing around 12. I grew up in New Hampshire, and immediately I was into like Randy Rhoads and Ozzy Osbourne, those kinds of guitar, like really kind of like technique oriented rock and metal players. And of course, through them, they're all into classical and then into jazz, and they kind of turned me on to that stuff. I'm like, well, if these guys are checking this out, I gotta check it out.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, when I started listening to, I mean, classical is easy for me to get really into, but like when I first listened, I remember I bought a back with the cassettes, like the Gold Collection.
Yeah.
I got that Miles Davis Gold Collection CD, and it turned out to be the Herbie and Tony Williams and all those guys together, and listened to it. And I had two albums, the Pat Metheny Secret Story, and which is more composition based, and then that Miles Davis one, and I didn't like it. I was like,
Right.
what's happening? It was too much information. But
Yeah.
I just forced myself to listen to it. Kind of like, if you read a book that you don't really get, same kind of thing. I try to like just read it over and over again, just, look at words if I don't understand the context and that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
after a while, I started hearing things like, wow, what that, it's almost like ear training just through
Yeah.
listening. And I was like, well, the piano player just played that, what the trumpet player, what's going on? I mean, I didn't know who any of the people were at the time, but so I started to really get into it. Um, but then, of course, when I discovered players like Joe Pass and Wes Montgomery and all those guys, I was like immediately like, that's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I got it. Like it wasn't, because the horn and a piano thing wasn't really it for my like 13-year-old ears. They weren't quite, ready for that, I think.
Yeah. For sure. So,
Yeah.
what was the first live show you saw, jazz or otherwise, that absolutely blew you away and made you think, I want to do that one day?
Oh, yeah. Okay. It was definitely, well, my first concert ever was Neil Young. And it was just, I mean, I think I was 11 maybe or 12. And I went there and I was just like, wow. Like to watch him play, like, because he opened up for himself, playing solo with the harmonica and everything. And I remember being really touched because I didn't even know who Neil Young was. And I was a total, like, I was into Molly Crew, all this stuff from the 80s, at that point. And so I was shocked when I checked it out. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I never, like, if somebody played it for me, I probably would have liked it. But like listening to it and experiencing it live is a whole nother animal. Um, and on a side note, that's kind of how I feel when I listen to solo musicians, right? Like I almost feel like it's a little bit more of a connection
Yeah.
to the listener,
Yeah.
like live like when you see a quartet live versus listening to it on the album.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
So, let me ask you this. Was it always going to be music for you? Was that always going to be the dream?
Oh, totally. I mean, like when I think I still remember like when I was 13, I played with the first person ever, and it was a drummer. And I remember one song that we played. It was just "Crazy Train" by Ozzy, and I remember thinking, "Oh my God!" Like there was just something about like playing with the drums behind me. It was so
Yeah.
amazing. It still is today. Oh my God, I can't do anything else.
Yeah.
So, and in a way that was good because I think like it's like with students, I'm always like, I don't know, like I never want to tell somebody not to do it, but like if I just say, the cliche of like, hey, if you can think you'd be, happy doing anything else, you might want to at least have that on the back burner because it's tough. you know,
Right.
it's it's even worse now.
Yeah, right. So speaking of, when you go into music, you have this idea of what your career is going to be like, what it's going to be like to be a musician every day. And then you actually start living the life of a musician. What's been the difference between this dream of getting into this world of music and living it?
Oh wow. Um, it's funny because when I grew up in a small town, we didn't have a lot of money at all, and so my dreams weren't really big. Like I was like, man, if I could just get out of here, this would be great. Like my dream was like, if I can just make a living, and so I used to actually dream of teaching guitar, like when I was like 13 or 14, and so once I started doing that, it was I felt really excited because I was able to do I was working in factories for a long time doing that before this actually kicked in, and it was just like, oh man, I could play music, like that's all I wanted to do. And so being able to make a living from it was a real treat. So I wasn't like thinking, oh, I'm going to go tour the world or I'm going to put out albums or, that like was a whole different thing. And it was rock, but then when I got into jazz, I mean, I'm just so thankful because I've been very lucky to, be like the fact that I'm able to live down here, in Boston and be able to play with these people that I used to listen to, it's like, oh my God, it's just like, I feel like I've made it from my own like head, from where I was as a kid, I
Yeah,
mean, I try not to think about all the other stuff like, oh man, you're not in Europe, you're not doing like,
right,
it's
for
like,
sure.
I'm just grateful.
So, what do you like the best about waking up every day being a professional musician? What do you look forward to? What pushes you to evolve and love this music and art form?
Oh, right when I wake up, I mean, I probably shouldn't admit this because I am a father, but like, I do think like, okay, how can I get my practicing in today?
Uh-huh.
Like life's gonna close in. How can I make it happen?
Yeah.
Um, and it's just I can't wait to get on the instrument to progress and to get more connected to the music. So first thing I do is I wake up at like 5 or 5:30, and I just start. I love mornings. And I just start practicing ear training like right away. And that's what kind of wakes everything up for me. And then I pick up the guitar you know and it's just trying to get to the next level, whatever that is. I don't even have like a specific, it's more like I just want to become a better musician.
Yeah.
And through that, the playing and the writing, all that sort of evolves on its own. It's just like the core musicianship is my most focused prize, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. So, if you could get into a time machine and go back in time and see one jazz performance, where are you going to go? Who are you going to see?
Wes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. That was fast.
Yeah, yeah, like, oh my God. I mean, I should probably go see some of the other stuff, like
Yeah,
the more, but like it's just as a guitar nerd. I mean, yes, Wes.
that would be it.
I just throw
So,
that out.
yeah, so let me ask you this, Phil. Everyone has a perception of you. Family, friends, fans, everyone on the bandstand, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Hmm. Um, like I think this is like a tough one. Wow, I don't know
Right.
how. Yeah, I mean, at least musically, I feel like I am a culmination of like the life, like everything that's going on, like with my family, and they're a big part of it. And it's a big influence, for emotionally from where I'm coming from with the music. So I definitely have my own voice, like because I think that's what I've heard the most. Like I don't sound like somebody, but like no matter how much I try, but, but it's yeah, I think it's a kind of a genuine thing. Hopefully, because I don't have a lot of the things like I can't get up there and I'm a horrible bebop player. I'm not good enough at that. I mean, I practice it every day. I feel like insecure for that kind of stuff. It's like I have my own thing is kind of what I'm doing here. Um, and if you ever heard some of the other like the non-solo guitar stuff, it's similar. It's like a different thing. It's not like, hey man, he's got this bebop language, he's killing it. I mean, I have it there, but I'm not like good at it. I can't sell it, I guess, is what I'm saying. So like,
Right.
it's just whatever comes out is like my thing,
Yeah.
I guess. So that's important, and it's very important for me as a performer, because I'm not really performing. I'm just playing music, and so I don't, you know, I'm mostly. I know you should say like, hey, I want the audience to love this, and I'm so thankful for them to be there. But really, what I'm concerned about the most is like the group. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
how are we in the moment together?
Yeah.
Are we loving this? Like, is this great? Are we taking risks? Do we feel safe with each other to go off and do whatever? Because I feel like that translates to an audience more than if I'm concerned about what they want to hear or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, if they hear that energy and that positivity with the group, I think it's great. I think
Yeah.
what I like to see anyway. I'd much rather see a group like that, like a family almost, than go see like a bunch of amazing players that don't really like each other on a personal level.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah.
Totally get it. So, if anybody wants to pick up a copy of Slow Motions or download it or catch you live, where's the best place to go to do that?
Oh, Solo Motions is pretty much everywhere, like streaming wise. I didn't print a lot of them only because, I mean, I have them, so they're for sale for sure. You can get them, Bandcamp or there's a lot. Like I work with Outside Music, and I'm not sure how they did it, but it's like if you go online, you'll see like there's a lot of different places that are selling it. Um, like that I've never heard of. But like, Target and those places are also there, but I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I would just go to Bandcamp or like, you could do that. But of course it's
Yeah.
on all the streaming sites and that kind of thing.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
live is definitely Boston area and New York. Like so mostly Boston, New York and yeah, New England mostly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I could put all those links in the show notes. This has been wonderful. Phil, thank you so much. Great to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out. Best of luck on the release and everything else.
Thank you so much, Joe. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Neon Jazz.